Let me guess, you have lots of information to learn, but you have very little time. So you need to cram. Well. This is a very common issue among students. Don't worry, everyone is guilty of this, even me. Think of cramming like breaking the glass in an emergency situation. You shouldn't do it all the time, but hey, life happens. Just keeping it straight out there, I do not encourage cramming at all. I think there are so many disadvantages to cramming compared to the advantages. But if you find yourself in a situation where you need to cram, at least do it right. Back when I was studying for my IGCSEs, I realized that I had completely left out geography. I took about 9 subjects and I completely ignored geography, right? So I did an assessment and I found out that I scored a grade E and my exam was just 7 to 8 weeks away, right? So I had to cram. I had no choice but to cram. It was my fault, but I had to cram. I had no other way out. So at the end of the day, in my GCSEs, I managed to score a B for geography, and that only happened because I used the correct techniques to cram. I know it's not an A, but still, take into consideration that I was 8 weeks away from my actual exam and I knew nothing about geography. So to me, going from an E to a B in about 7 to 8 weeks was a pretty big deal to me. In a recent tutorial with my student, I went through all the techniques that I used to cram, right? Now, I know you're probably thinking, but I want to cram and still get an A. You can, right? I mean, I knew nothing about geography, so you will probably not be in a spot where you know absolutely nothing about your subject and you're 8 weeks away from IGCSEs. Don't worry, that won't happen to you, right? If you're watching this video, I'm sure that you want to make changes, huge change in your life, so you are probably not going to be in that spot. So chances are, if you pull this off, you can actually score an A. Before I show you the tutorial, I actually want to apologize in advance because the audio is completely cooked for some reason. My mic was just not working that day. But regardless, most of the information is visual as I do drawings on my iPad, so you can still learn a thing or two. So pay attention very closely to what I'm about to say in the next 30 minutes.
We're going to talk about cramming. I'm going to try my best to cram everything about cramming in this 20-minute time that we have. So, cramming, one of the most important skills you can learn, right? So, we've talked about all kinds of techniques. We are going to talk about all kinds of techniques. In all of the study techniques that are available out there, I think I only covered like 15% of them. There's like a ton of them out there, which I have spaced out nicely all of our sessions. I think you guys like IGCSE, so it's super calm. So far, we talked about active recall, spaced repetition, doing passing questions using flashcards, study equation, and things like that. But sometimes life gets in the way, right? Something comes up that prevents you from studying. It is what it is. It can be a last-minute exam to do with your instruments. It could be a last-minute family event that you have to go to. It may be a last-minute family emergency, right? So things like that will happen. Right? So you have to prepare for times like that, right? In huge businesses, this is what we call, I'm trying to find a word here. It's something to do with a safety net, right? I can't think of the word right now, but if this happens, then we're going to do that, right? So your plan A should always be studying properly, space things out, using flashcards, testing the past year questions, explaining what you know to someone, and use all of these higher techniques, right? That is your long-term key, right? But let's say that kind of fails. When I say that fails, I'm saying, let's say you have something to do last week, right? So this is sort of a plan B, okay? One thing always leads to another, and you will always find yourself cramming. Now, I want you guys to not feel bad about cramming, right? So I don't want you to be like, okay, let's say you try all this techniques and suddenly you have to cram. For whatever reason that you have in your life, you have to, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys will be thinking that, oh my God, I promised myself this time I'm going to be different. This time I'm going to do this time I'm going to do that. But I'm cramming again. Well, first of all, don't think like that. Okay, life just happens. Okay? Now, just to be clear, I do not, okay, I'm going to write it down here to prioritize this importance. I do not recommend cramming now. Right? Avoid. If whatever possible, just avoid it. Right? So you can think of it as real life. Right? Let's say you approach someone in public who antagonizes you. What does antagonize mean? Like cause you trouble or make you angry. Just a random stranger, right? You wouldn't straight out go and touch that person in the face and knock them out and cause a scene. Right? That would be your last thing that you do. right? What would you do when someone kind of harasses you in public, right? You will try to use your words, right? You try to de-escalate the situation, remain calm, you try to talk things out, you try to understand what's going on, you know. This is how you guys should approach things. And that equivalent to studying is, remaining calm, doing your past years every slowly studying, like slowly building up, using a studying equation is taking things that, okay? But your final result can, right? Just like how in a public situation with your arrest, your final result can be using physical violence, right? Because sometimes the word is just like that, sometimes you have to defend yourself. So same thing here, right? Your final result in education can be criminal. Please do not take this as your first option. Lost. It's so funny. What they do is they just wait until the last week of exam and then they cram, right? Like it's like using your final result as your first solution, right? Let's just say someone in public just wanted to know the directions to the restaurant. And before hearing them out, you just want to touch them in the face. Who is the problem? Like, you are the problem, right? So same thing here. In studies, you don't want to cram all the time. If you cram all the time and get bad grades, it means that you are the problem, right? So now, I want you guys to know when you guys cram, you are going to feel discomfort. Okay, it's natural. Okay, if you don't feel discomfort while cramming, I don't know what you guys are cramming. You guys are not cramming, you're relaxing at that point. Okay, so when if you guys will feel discomfort because you're trying to solve months and months worth of problems in a matter of weeks, right? So stress is going to pile up, okay? But you have to use stress to your advantage. You got to play to your advantage. Okay, you need to realize that when you're cramming, you cannot cover everything. Okay, you have to pick. It's really simple. Okay, you have to choose. What do you want to revise? What do you want to let go? Right? You can't really solve everything. You can't really go through each and every topic when you're cramming. It's just not possible. Okay, if you want to go through each and every topic, well, don't slack. Okay, don't screw up. Like actually use your study techniques and use time. Don't waste time. Okay, but let's say you find yourself in a situation you need to cram. Okay, you have to decide. Okay, you can't have it all. I'm sorry, but you can't have it all. You can't cover everything. You can't. No, you have to choose. Okay, so now there are a lot of tactics on. Okay, not to be honest, probably 3 or 4 tactics on how to cram properly. Okay, so I'm going to break this down. I'm going to break cramming down into 3 simple steps. Okay, so 3-step framework. All right, so step number 1, okay, to all to listen up, it's going to be super important. Step number 1, what you guys can do is you need to ask your teacher, tutor, mentor, whoever it is, on what topics are going to come up, right? So on what topics are coming up. This is what you do. Okay. Now this only works 30% of the time, right? Because why would teachers help you out? Right? Think about it. Because it's not like they're trying to be rude. It's not that they hate you, but they genuinely want you to just revise everything. They're thinking in your best interests, right? This is what happens 70% of the time. But if you're lucky, 30% of the time, the teacher might just slip in a few topics to help you out. Okay. If a teacher does that, chances are it's really nice. Okay. But that's not the case in better situations. Most of the time, teachers will just give you a very bland answer like chapter 4, 5, 6, 7 is coming up. Okay, but when you try to get the specifics, some teachers just don't give you the specifics. Wait, can you guys hear me? My mic died. Can okay, am I clear now? This is my mic.
Yeah.
Working? Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Right. So going back to the teacher thing, if this doesn't work, don't worry about it. Okay, let's say the teacher does not help you out with exams. Trust me, this was going to happen. Okay, teacher is not going to tell you the topics that are on the exam. Well, they will tell you the topics, but it won't tell you the content. Okay, let's say mitochondria is under 3.1 chapter 3, right? They won't tell you that the question from mitochondria is coming, but they will tell you the 3.1. Right? When you try to get the specifics, it won't know the answer. Right? So what you can do instead is you can use this framework I'm going to list right now to kind of rank topics. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys how to rank topics right now. There's 4-step framework. Okay, so weakness, big chunks, weakness, small chunk. I'll write it out up here. So your weakness, this is how crap. Okay, this is literature proof. Your weakness plus big chunk of marks. Priority number 1. Okay, whatever topics that you're weak in, pair that with the type of questions that carry the most marks and revise that first. Okay, priority number 1. Priority number 2 can be your weakness plus small chunk of marks. Okay, let's say you're really shit at this certain 3-mark question. Okay, try to solve the topics where you are bad at, but it carries 7 marks, 6 marks. Solve that first. That's priority 1. Okay, but you will have scenarios where there's still a certain 2-mark, 3-marker where you can't answer. That falls under the second bracket. Okay, third priority, you can focus on your strengths. Okay, topics that you're already good at, plus big chunk of marks. I hope you understand where I'm going here. If you don't understand, ask me. I will explain it again. You guys are not robots sitting here. So if you don't understand something, voice out. Okay, so see, I wrote something about big chunk of marks. Priority number 3. Okay. Lastly, you should focus on your strengths plus small chunk of marks. Okay, so from what I've listed over here, it's very important to go in this exact order. Okay, do not try to do things that you're already good at. Okay, why? Although it's going to feel very good, there's absolutely no point. Are you trying to score in the exam, or are you trying to like prove to yourself that you're smart? 2 different things, right? You're trying to actually score the grades. So in order to do that, you got to work with things that you suck at. It's very simple. Right? But the amount of students that try to ignore the things they're bad at and do the things they're good at just because it gives them like dopamine, just because they feel good about it, there's a lot of them out there. Okay? And please don't be one of them. Okay, if you guys are one of them and you're here, I'm probably doing something. You guys are get out like I don't want you here. Okay? If you're here, genuinely use the best tactics possible and leverage it. Okay, there's no point knowing all of these top frameworks in the world and you don't use any of it in your exams. Right? There's actually no point. Okay, it's like reading 20 books about how to make money and you don't go out there and make it. There's like no point. You just wasted your life, right? So same thing here. I'm not trying to be harsh, but if you guys follow this framework, it's very simple to see success. Okay, now cheat code number 2. This is one way you can go at it. Number 2. Now this is very important for sciences. I want all of you to listen up over here. Usually, when all of you have textbooks, I'm very sure, right? Most of you have textbooks here. When you are going through a topic, right? Let's say you want to learn chemical bonding. Let's say you want to learn covalent bonding, right? So you go to your textbook and you go through covalent bonding chapter. Now, every textbook, or at least most of textbooks, have an LO, a learning objective. Okay. Now, here's the hack. The learning objective can actually help you see which parts of the topic are worth more marks. I'm going to say that again. The learning objectives listed in textbooks will help you see which questions are worth more marks. Okay, let me give you an example. Let me just this properly. So method 1 would be to ask your teacher, and method 2 would be these things that I'm listing out right now. So just so you guys are confused, now 2B, right? So this is the learning objective hack. Now, if your learning objective in a textbook or notes or whatever it is, if it's something like this, to be able to describe, it's worth less marks. Okay, this applies for humanities and sciences. I do math plus math, I don't need to use just generally do questions, right? But for humanities and sciences, we need to understand concepts, look at the LO, and this is like, think of it as Cambridge's way of kind of helping you in advance. Okay, if the LO is something like to be able to describe, to be able to explain, there's a high chance that these will have lesser marks in the exam. Okay, so there's a high chance of less marks. Okay, if the LO is something like this, to be able to analyze whatever. Okay, now this is a high chance of more marks. Okay, if you analyze this, analyze that, analyze certain concept, analyze how supply demand curve works, analyze how what can I possibly think of? Analyze how properties of biological recording affect X, Y, Z, right? If you analyze an LO, trust me, the marks are going to be pretty heavy in the exam. Okay, and now a little bonus hack on top of these two. Do not practice topics that are standard. Okay, when you are cramming, you want to follow the 80-20 rule, right? 20% of effort leads to 80% of results. As bizarre as that statistic is, it's actually true. And it's called like having mind right up. 20% of your effort will lead to 80% of results. Human beings are very smart creatures. We don't need to do so much to achieve so much. Just do a fair amount, and we can actually achieve a lot of things. So, what I'm trying to tell you guys is that do not practice things that are very standard and segregated from others. Right? So I'll give you an example as well. That are stand alone. Okay. Now, chapter 3 in biology. I was doing this research. Chapter 3 in biology, by the way, chapter 3 working down of cells. Okay. Chapter 3 is often connected to human digestive system. It's connected to immunity, it's connected to plants. Like if you choose to practice chapter 3, chances are you are going to be practicing all of these other chapters as well together, right? It's like going to tackle one thing, but you tackle 5 things at once. Wholly efficient, right? That's so efficient because you came in to tackle chapter 3, but guess what? Just by exposing yourself to chapter 3 questions, you do chapter 7 questions, you do chapter 9 questions, you do immunity questions, you do plant questions, right? Like you kind of make very good use of your time, if that makes sense. So what I'm trying to say is that there will be topics that are just standalone. For example, chapter 1 in biology, the dichotomous scheme. I don't know if you guys still remember that, but it's still a thing. The dichotomous scheme is very standalone. The dichotomous scheme will rarely connect itself to any other chapter in biology. If you are cramming, I want you guys to forget about the dichotomy scheme, right? Because it's standalone, right? But there will be certain topics, biology or chemistry or economics, where it's linked to other topics. And I want you guys to practice that. Okay? Now, we already know the framework on how to choose your topic, okay, and how to analyze your topic. Now, step 3 would simply be to revise your chosen topics. Okay, now time is of the essence. Okay, I don't want you guys to learn. There's no time to learn. If you're trying to learn everything 1 week before the exam, you're cooked. Why don't you just go to bed? Okay, but I don't want you guys to learn. I want you guys to revise. It is 2 different things. Okay, I want you guys to revise, or I want you guys to capture information. Okay, I want you guys to like take mental screenshots of your whatever you're learning. So how do we do this? Okay, now in textbooks, okay, they will often have summaries of chapters. Get summaries of topics from textbooks. Okay, at the end of every chapter, there will usually be a summary. Go through that. Don't go one by one when you're revising a topic. Just jump to the end and go through the summary. Okay, summary is one method. Method number 2, you can watch a course, YouTube video, whatever it is. Okay, I hope that when you guys are searching for YouTube videos, you search because they are specific to your exam board and topic. Okay, don't try to go to the Excel stuff or like CIE or vice versa. Right? So the reason I tell you guys to get summaries or watch YouTube videos is because you're just trying to capture information. That's it. You're not trying to learn. Okay, I'm sorry, but there's no time to learn. Okay, you should have done that earlier. Okay, but now when you're in cramming mode, you need to revise as soon as possible. Even if you don't understand what the heck you're reading, it's fine. Just take a mental summary of it. Okay, now once you've done this, okay, once you've captured information, what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to practice your topics. Okay, now how do we practice topics? All this information that you capture in your head right now by looking at summaries and YouTube videos, you want to apply it back, right? Because this is the same thing as going to a grocery store and buying all the ingredients and you just don't end up cooking. Like, what is the ingredients? Like, it's just going to be in your fridge forever, right? So all this information that you learn from watching YouTube videos and watching courses or looking at summaries, if you don't practice it, it's just going to be stored in your head, okay? And a week later, you're going to forget it. You just wasted mental power a week ago by revising information that you didn't put. So you need to practice your topics, okay? Now, when you are in cram mode and you're practicing, please, for the love of God, jump to PYQ. Please skip all of these textbooks, end of chapter questions, skip Save My Exam, skip Basics of Maths Tutor, skip GCE Guide, skip everything. Okay, wait, GCE Guide is the passing resource, sorry. Skip all the Save My Exams, cap sheets, PMT, and things like this, and go straight to passing questions. Why? Because you don't have time, and you're trying to expose yourself to questions that are very similar to the ones that are coming out of the exam. Okay, and the only way to get that is by doing passing questions, right? So as soon as okay, now I'm going to walk you guys through this again. Now let's say you capture information, immediately go and practice your topics and passing questions. Okay, you guys can segregate it by topicals. You can use Exam8 to segregate it by topicals, or you can just dive headfirst into a passing question. That's not matter. Now, you can do this vice versa as well. Meaning, once you rank all your topics, you can go to a passive question or a passive paper, do one full paper, see how much you suck, and go back to your notes and look at the summary and revise it. You can do that as well. Okay? But to be honest, that I would suggest the second method, passive question first and revise later. But if I'm being super transparent, I think out of 20 students, only 2 can do it. Because of the amount of mental pain it kind of has on me. Right? It's not every student can do it. So I would suggest just going through the traditional method of ranking topics, revising topics, practicing topics. You will still succeed. This is you can still succeed with this method. Okay. But if you want to go past question first and notes, all I can say is good luck, but you will learn so much more. You will get so much better in a short amount of time. Okay. But most of you guys, I don't think you guys think that, to be honest. I'm not saying you guys are like disadvantaged or anything like that. I'm just saying from what I've seen, general consensus of students, it's just better to go through this. Okay, some of the smartest kids and smartest friends I know do this as well. To revise once they're practicing. So you're not really messing up there. But if you feel like you can tolerate pain and you want to try the other way around, go ahead. No one's stopping you. Okay, like I said, sky's the limit. Okay, or there's no limit. Same thing. Now, there are a few things to remember when you guys are coming to the end of this little crash course pandemic. Now, few things to remember. Please. Okay, please. I would say please like 8 times by the right enough. Please do not pull an all-nighter. Okay, those shit you see in movies. I don't know if you watch the movie Social Network. That's a whole different thing. Okay, they're not studying anymore. They're actually building a real thing. You guys, you don't need an all-nighter at all. Okay, especially when it comes to academics, you will benefit more if you get more rest. All of you are young. Your brains is still developing. You guys are getting taller. You guys are getting sharper. You guys are getting smarter. So you need to get, okay, do not pull an all-nighter. It's not worth it. Okay, now let's say you guys are sitting for an end of term exam. Okay, it's 2 a.m. Your exam is at 9 a.m. And you're thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, should I just revise this? Bro, trust me, that's just close. There's no point in revising. You just gotta hurt your brain. You're gonna finish the next day. Okay, admit that you lost. Go and take the exam. Okay, completely blow the exam. come back, learn from your mistakes, and don't repeat it in the second exam. Simple. Don't stay awake and pull all-nighters. There's no point. Okay? If you want a quick burst of energy, okay, let's say your afternoon, you just woke up and you feel dead and you feel tired. You're just like, okay, for the next 24 hours, please like that. Okay, you need a quick burst of energy, take caffeine. Okay, take coffee. Take things, I don't know how many of you guys drink coffee here, but generally coffee is very good. Okay, black coffee is the best. Okay, please do not take energy drinks. In my 20 years of life, I've never once been energized by drinking Red Bull, Monster, and Tonka Ali, and just all of these things that you see online that give you energy. It has never given me. I've just felt sleepier after drinking these things. Okay, now if you guys choose to take caffeine, you're driving, keep it before 2 p.m. Don't really take caffeine after that, because if you take caffeine after 2, it's kind of body's gonna like get tired and stumpy. It's gonna be okay. So take caffeine around lunchtime if possible. Okay, and go get a bunch of traveling. Okay, so I'm just gonna write it over here. Number 1, no all-nighter. No, that's right. No all-nighter. Number 2, take caffeine. Okay, please. Energy drinks. Avoid this. Absolutely no point. Okay, and number 3, please study groups. Study with your friends. Okay, all of you here are going to sit in your GCSEs. All of you are going to the same thing. So all of you can relate to each other. Okay, so use that to your advantage. Okay, you will learn best when you're around similar-minded people. It applies to everything. Okay, engineers want to hang out with engineers. Entrepreneurs want to hang out with entrepreneurs. Students want to hang out with students. Right? A student who's taking IB wouldn't want to hang out with a student who's taking IGTS because it's big difference. Okay, I've even opened a group session, group lounge or whatever it is, voice lounge. I'm really good at this talk or whatever. That's the thing in Discord where you guys can get together and study. Use that. Okay, it's just you don't have. I'm not forcing you guys to come together and study. Just study with people. Okay, if you guys have friends at school, study with them. Okay, why is this important? Because when let's say you're in a group of 4. Okay, one guy has a question. Okay, turns out the question that this guy asked was in all of your mind as well. For the 3 of you, it was in your mind. You're just shy to ask, but then one person asked the question. You're going to be like, oh my God, thank God he asked it. Let's work on this up. You all be so relieved. And you guys will help each other. Okay? Solve passing questions together with each other. Ask questions to each other. Do things together. Okay? The most successful things built and accomplished in this world is not done alone. It's done with a group of people. Okay? There's no such thing as self-made. Absolutely no such thing. It's just a social media thing. Okay, if you guys want to achieve great things, do it together. Okay? Now, do not get distracted when you guys study together. Don't go off topic and things like that. But I think you guys can control it. You know, like I said, limit it. Don't stop. If you guys want to talk about something else, sure, go ahead, but limit it. Right? Increase your amount of work, decrease your amount of distraction. I'm not saying kill distractions, decrease it. Okay? And when you are cramming, one last thing, when you're cramming and you find yourself making pretty notes, highlighting, summarizing, and all of this nonsense, please, you're wasting your time. There's no point doing that. You're not going to get 10 extra marks for good notes. Okay? You're not going to get 10 extra marks for having pretty notes. No such thing. Okay? Just rank your topics. Yeah, I think I should have write it over here. Rank topics. Revise topics by looking at summaries, and go to past questions straight away. Okay? Please don't make fancy notes. No point. Right? So this is the little cheat sheet that you guys can use. Okay? And again, it's recorded. If you guys, I don't think anyone here can understand what I said in one book. So if you want this information to get locked in your head, generally go to this recording class. Okay? I'm in business right now. In every book, I have some books about business over here, like things like this. I've read this book 4 times. Okay, if you guys want to learn things, you need to go through it again and again and again and again. Okay, so go through this recording one more time. You kind of take notes and implement this. Okay, now I'm not saying please go and cram right away. Okay, but there will be a time in life when you have to cram. Okay, that's when you come back to this little cheat sheet. I have over here a little recorder that I made for you guys. Come back to this, look at what I said, and implement it. Okay?
So here's the thing, if you ever need to cram, this is the framework. Start with big topics that carry big marks. Then go to weak topics that carry small marks, right? Stop revising things that you're already good at. I know it feels good, I know it gives you that dopamine rush, but that's not what we want, right? We want good grades. So stop doing the things that you're already good at and start working on things that you suck at. Second, use the learning objective hack. Describe usually means low marks, and explain and analyze usually means higher marks. Thirdly, apply the 80-20 rule. Focus on topics that actually link to multiple chapters and just completely leave out topics where it only focuses on one concept. Once again, please use this technique as your last resort. Do not do this all the time. If you do not want to score good grades, then yes, please cram all the time, but I hope that's not what you're here for. So once again, I keep saying this, do not cram often, only use this as an emergency. Now, I have another video about getting into the right exam conditions in order to learn. It's probably somewhere in this video. If you love this video, you'll probably love that one as well. So check it out. I'll put in the description for you. And as always, I hope you win.